Hello, and welcome to 5 Minute Math. Today we are looking at the sixth grade concept of integer operations, specifically how we can use counters to represent them, and we'll do it in 5 minutes or less. So we need to use this key up at the very top of the screen to let us know what exactly we're looking at. So an open circle means a positive 1, closed circle means a negative 1. So really, if we want to, we can just write that next to each of these counters to see what exactly is being represented here. What I want to do is I want to write an equation and then find out what the final simplified answer is here. So it looks like I've got 4 positive ones because I've got 4 open circles. So I could just represent that with the integer 4. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6 negative ones. Now, if we wanted to, we could subtract 6. But one of the things we work on in sixth grade is knowing that when you subtract something, the same as adding a negative, because really we're adding all of these counters together. I'm adding 4 positives, but I'm adding 6 negatives. And then the question is, what does that equal, right? How can I simplify that? Well, the way this particular representation has been given to us, they line things up for us beautifully. And what we can do is we can look for some zero pairs. So a zero pair is 2 integers that add up together to make 0. It's a pair of integers that make 0. So 2 plus negative 2, or negative 3 plus 3. They add together and they make 0. And really what we're looking for now is these right here. These are our 0 pairs because I've got a 1 plus a negative 1. And those two cancel out. 1 plus a negative 1 makes 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a box around my 0 pairs here. And those are going to cancel out. And what am I left with? Well, I'm left with just these two, and this is my answer right here, equals negative 2. If I want to, I can represent this with a number line here. So let's see if let's say we've got a 0 right there. And let's just put some midpoints here. Let's call this 5, 10, negative 5, negative 10. How can we represent this with a number line just to double check? Well, I'm starting with positive 4. So I'm going to start right here. And I'm going to say, well, from 0, I am going to move up to positive 4. Put that right there. But then I need to add negative 6. Well, it's only 4 to go back to 0. So when I go back to the left, I use 4, and that means there's 2 left. So we need to go to right about here, and that takes me to negative 2. And there's my minus 6 if you want to break it up into a negative 4 and a negative 2. So that's how we can use 0 pairs to represent integer operations with counters. So when we have these counters spread out like this, my recommendation is to line them up. So if these were real counters, we can drag them over. Let's just draw some lines to draw where we want to drag them. And let's take care of our positives first. So I'm just going to draw some lines to make sure I'm not missing any. I'm going to put them in nice 2 columns, because once I have that, the 0 pairs really stand out. All right, so I'm going to put them over here. It's going to go here. Then I've got 2 left. Let's put that there. Let's put this one up on top. All right, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so those are my positives, right? So I can just put that as a positive 6. Now, as you can tell, I don't have as many negatives. So let's draw them. But when we draw them, we want to put them exactly opposite of one of our positive ones. So we're going to make 0 pairs. So let's bring this one right here. I've got 3. And then I've got this one right down here. I'm going to put it right there. All right, so what I have here are a positive 6 and a negative 4. And if I kind of take out my 0 pairs like this, cross them off, what I'm left with is positive 2. Now look what I have. It looks like 6 minus 4. We know 6 minus 4 is 2, but what I can write it as is 6 plus negative 4 equals 2.